Hi, for our tutorial today we're going to do quarter square triangles or the hourglass block. Now we start by making a half square triangle. We've talked about that for a few weeks. So you take two pieces of fabric and you cut them 1.5 inches larger than you want your finished block. I picked a red and a yellow today. In a perfect world you could cut them 1.25 inches and it would work, but you wouldn't have any leeway for error. So I like to cut them 1.5 inches bigger, and then you can trim them when you're finished. And you do it just like a half square triangle. You draw your line on the back of one of the pieces from corner to corner, and then I used a contrasting thread so you can see, and I've sewn 1/4 inch away from both sides of that line. Then we're going to cut these apart, and you can use your rotary cutter or you can use your scissors, cut them apart on the marked line, and that gives you 2 half square triangles. And then I will press it to the darker color, so I'll press it to the red. And I have 2 of those already done, so we'll look at those, and here's 2 that are already pressed and ready to go. Now in order to make the quarter square triangle, I marked a diagonal line on the back of one of them from corner to corner, and then I'm going to lay these down and I'm going to butt the seams up, and you can kind of feel it, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can pin it right here at the seam and then just pull this back to make sure that your seams are going to come out to a good clean point. And I'm just going to check both sides. They look like they're going to be good, so I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to sew 1/4 inch on both sides of those lines. And I'm going to cut it apart, and when I do, I'll end up with this, and I'll have 2 of these from each one of these. See, that was going to be one and the other side is going to be the other. And then I'm going to trim them. Now this one needs to be trimmed, and it's going to be 6 inches finished, and so I'm going to trim it to 6.5. So I take my 6.5 inch square here, and I'm going to do 3 1/4 right on the center. There's the 3 1/4 inch mark right on the center, and line up the diagonal line on the seam. I'm going to trim 2 sides, and I'm going to turn it and trim the other 2 sides, and then that center point will be right in the middle where it needs to be if you have your 3 1/4 right there. Okay, now I've done this, and I have several, and I put them together over here in a little setting, and I just wanted you to see that it makes a great alternating block. You can kind of get another pattern going with these, and if I turn it to the yellow side, it'll even look different. Turn the yellow side to the center square, and it kind of looks like a star. The red part looks like a star if you do that. So anyway, it's a great alternating block. If you don't have enough blocks to make your quilt, this is a great way to do it. It's called a quarter square triangle because there's 4 pieces in your block, and they're triangles. So you just start out with the half square triangle and take one more step, and you got your quarter square triangle or your hourglass block. It's really easy and really fun to do. Have a good time. Bye. If you want to make a quarter square triangle and use 4 different colors, all you have to do is have a half square triangle out of 2 colors and another half square triangle out of the other 2 colors, and lay those on top of each other like I showed you, and then you'll get one with 4. And then if you lay these out with the same color in the middle, it makes a really fun design. Anyway, it's just another fun way to do a quarter square triangle.